Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our live streaming 101 seminar. I am your master trainer, Joshua Baccetti. For those of you who do know me, I work mainly on the Xbox business, but have a lot of expertise in live streaming as well. That's actually the role that I came from to join this team, was being a live streamer for Xbox channel marketing. So today we're going to go through live streaming 101, and I want to be really clear about what that is. When we talk about a 101 level course, this is going to be very high level. It's going to be, I would believe, perfect content for those who maybe have very little to no understanding of what live streaming is. Maybe they've seen a couple of them, especially internally, as we're all moving towards a more digital platform. But maybe they haven't dabbled in actually utilizing these streaming softwares, or they just don't really know what they need to get started. So that is where I'm going to help you out. We've got about 30 minutes. I'm going to try to make it seem like 5, and we're going to keep rolling through the things that I want you to know, first of all, about live streaming, and then we will showcase how to actually set up your stream in XSplit. So let's get started. Again, very high level. So we're going to start with the obvious. What is live streaming? Why is this becoming one of those digital communication avenues that not just internally, but with our partners as well, a lot of us are starting to adapt because of the world the way it is today. We obviously want to continue to communicate and connect with our retail pros as well as our partners. And streaming is a great avenue to be able to do that. You're able to combine a lot of different things that you can see here: creativity, entertainment, and collaboration. And those are going to actually make the biggest impact when it comes to wanting to land a message with your particular audience. So right here we have live streaming. It's evolved, especially in the last 10 years. It's one of the most interactive forms of digital communication, and it continues to implement features and capabilities to more effectively connect with your target audience. So what we just talked about, adding in a lot of flair and some cool things as far as overlays, etc. Those things we'll kind of talk to more in the 200 level course of streaming, but we will, add in some nods to those as well in this course. Creativity, so you can see the XSplit window there. We'll actually hop into that and move around a little bit, add some sources so you guys can see how that's done. Entertainment, we've got, the lovely Dr. Disrespect here, and he's got, he's the perfect example, I would say, of having your own personal brand and design just all over your stream. Every little inch of his screen is covered in his own Dr. Disrespect branding, coloring, all the good stuff. So obviously adding in some entertainment value there. And then collaboration. One of the coolest features of live streaming, both on Twitch and on Mixer, is the squad streaming capability. So you can actually stream live gameplay or whatever it is you're doing, sharing your screen with other people on that stream as well. And you can see everybody kind of collaborating together. It's a lot of fun. And we'll talk again about squad streaming and some of those features on the 200 level course. So what do you need to start? Now, when I was approached to talk about what a 100 level course looked like with streaming, I know that we have so many different ways that we describe it, and there's probably a billion different videos on YouTube about how to stream, how to set up your stream. My goal here is really these two bolded words on this slide: the basics. When I think about trying to get somebody who may not be as tech savvy or familiar with streaming into this realm of communication, I definitely don't want to throw too much at them at once. So where I see the basics as far as streaming, it really kind of comes to what the audience expects from you as a streamer. And let's keep in mind, streaming is all encompassing. It's not just the Dr. Disrespect type streamers of the world who are playing high level gameplay that need to keep these things in mind. Even if you are, doing a professional stream and going through, product specs, key messaging, those kinds of things, you still want to make sure that these pieces of your stream are there and collected, and they're actually portraying quality. So we'll talk about all those kinds of things moving forward, but let's start with the basics. The audience wants to see you, ladies and gentlemen. The audience wants to hear you, and they want to be seen. So those are the 3 things I would say are the most important to think about when you're first starting out streaming. What do I have to do to make sure that the audience sees me, that they hear me, and that I see the audience? So we're actually going to hop in right here and look at the hardware that we're going to need. So a webcam. Many of us have used them. A lot of us, they may be already embedded into our laptops, so the little the little dial at the top of your screen. We are pretty comfortable with cameras. I think most of us would say that, whether it's social media, Facebook, or just sharing photos with friends or taking photos on vacations, what have you, we're pretty comfortable with cameras. So hopefully, this is a pretty easy transition for a lot of us. A webcam is honestly just built and designed to give the best possible frame rate and quality from a PC. A lot of times you won't see like a DSLR or some really nice digital camera utilized as a streaming device because A, battery life is really important, and B, they just weren't built to handle the length of communication that we're looking for. With live streams, people have done 12-hour streams, 24-hour streams. I've seen people do the 48-hour stream challenge. It's nuts, ladies and gentlemen. So you want to have a device that is built to basically be utilized for that long period of time. DSLRs and some of those really high quality big digital cameras just aren't really going to have the capabilities that you need, like a webcam right here. So the one that I use is the Logitech 1080p. The one that we have on our picture here is a slightly different model, but still a great camera. So obviously that is going to be your method of being able to allow your audience to see you, is that webcam. So that's number one. Number two, your audience wants to hear you. So you're going to need a mic. Again, the one that we use here is going to be the Black Yeti mic, or the Blue Yeti mic. I say black because it is the color black, but brand wise, it is a Blue Yeti. So this is kind of a standard mic that you can kind of utilize when it comes to streaming. But I would say that the Blue Yeti is a little bit more on the the high end side. Not necessarily for pricing, but it's definitely not the kind of mic that you would need to start your first day streaming. There's a lot of cheaper options, or options all the way in between the Blue Yeti and the cheapest option that you could utilize and do just fine. So if you have any questions about what types of microphones that you want to use, or is the microphone that you have the proper one that can be utilized, feel free to send us a question on our Facebook page, and let us know if you're having any issues with your stream setup, and I can certainly help you out. But last but not least, and I have to say, with my experience being a streamer, this is one of the more important things, is this audio chat. The audience chat allows you to actually see in real time what the people that are viewing your stream are saying, thinking, what have you. They get to interact in this chat box, which on Mixer and Twitch, it's pretty much set up very similarly. You've got your chat on the right and you've got your video on the left. And a lot of times it can be, the people that are watching your stream communicating with each other. Maybe they're talking about something that you're doing or asking questions in the chat. Sometimes they want to know about you. Sometimes they may have questions if you're doing a professional stream. Let's say you're showing off an Xbox. There's just simply going to be moments in there where, that Xbox is going to need a little bit more communication, a little bit more detail to the audience about what it may be doing, what the specs are, what kind of performance can we expect. So it's really important to, in your brain, think about the chat as a very vital part of your stream, because that's where the two-way communication and that collaboration really starts to come in. And again, I want to try to keep things as simple as possible. So we aren't going to hop into anything as far as bit rate or quality. We'll do very high level, but I want to just, again, get those basics out of the way. So we've talked about our webcam, we've talked about our microphone, and we've talked about the audience chat. So making sure that you have your chat window pulled up. Again, I'll show you how to do that. Stream software. Ladies and gentlemen, stream software is, when it comes to equipment and then the software, so our hardware and software, streaming can be kind of a chicken and an egg thing. Is it more important to make sure that you have the webcam, etc., set up, or is it more important to know how to use the software? I would say they're both equally important, but one cannot exist without the other if you want a quality live stream. So there's two main live stream softwares out there right now. There's a lot of different ones as well, but the two that we kind of hear talked about most often are going to be OBS, the one here on the left, and XSplit, which is the one that I use, and it's pretty prominently used, I think, on Mixer as well. Maybe it's because of the coloring, I don't know. But They both have, pretty much every kind of feature that you're going to need to get your stream off the ground. I personally feel that XSplit has a little bit more polish on their features, and I would say a handful of capabilities that OBS simply doesn't have. So for those reasons, with my experience in live streaming, I prefer XSplit. I will say OBS may be a little simpler for those that are just hopping in. There's just not as much going on the screen. But I do feel that XSplit is a more user guided experience where you're not looking around for things too much. So now that we've identified the baseline equipment you will need to conduct a live stream, let's dive into the streaming broadcast software. So the software is basically what is going to take whatever it is that you are doing and broadcast it to that channel that you want. So yes, I could be here on my computer going through PowerPoint slides and talking to a camera and talking to my mic and have all that stuff situated, right? But who's going to see it? Because all it's doing is this. It's just showing it on my own computer. It's not being broadcast over the internet to anything. So you need something to basically pile all of that equipment and all of that content, share your screen, all those aspects of what you're trying to showcase. You throw all that into this software, and it's what beams that content to your desired output. So, a big long way of saying this is going to be your home base or your operating module within your live stream. So when we talk about XSplit, again, if you guys want to know more about OBS, feel free to let us know on the Facebook or through some other means of feedback, and we'll kind of incorporate OBS a little bit more into our 200 level as we kind of go into more of the nitty-gritty granular aspects of live streaming. But for one-on-one XSplit Broadcaster, there's a couple different ways that you can utilize it. As you can see here, they've got the VCam, they've got the Gamecaster, and the Broadcaster. The one that we want to take a look at is the Broadcaster. So this is what the XSplit Broadcaster software looks like. As soon as you download it, which you can download from pretty much anywhere, just search XSplit and you will find it, I promise. So once you've downloaded it and opened it, you can see the actual window where all of this stuff is going to live. And again, for those who are just looking at this, you may see this window and go, oh, that's too much. But we're only going to be taking a look at a couple things today. So don't freak out. I promise it's not too hard. One of the first things we want to point out is the add source button. This is probably going to be maybe your most used input in XSplit next to going live. But the add source button is pretty much the all-encompassing adding into your stream, whether it's your equipment or your content or whatever it is you're trying to share, widgets, images, whatever it is you're trying to put on there is going to go into that box at the bottom, this little white box. So what this little white box basically is it's going to showcase everything that you've added into your stream, and whether it's currently being displayed or if it's disabled, all that good stuff. So let's say you are looking at your live stream like I am right now, and let's say you've got your webcam set up and you've got everything, at least to your knowledge, as set up as you can get it, but you're having this issue. You notice that everything is being shared fine. Everything is, the audio is fine. I can hear myself talk, but where am I? Why can't I see myself on the screen? So for me right now, all I've done, which I'll show you in a second, is in this little white box that you see on the screen here, I have simply clicked this little eyeball icon on that specific source, which for me is my Logitech Brio webcam. So I am basically telling XSplit, hey, I still want you to have my webcam inputted into the stream, so I can use it. But for right now, maybe I'm showing, something on screen that I don't want to be in the way for. I just want to toggle this on and off. Simple as that. So I'm not adding and taking out the source. I'm just simply telling XSplit, hey, don't show me for 5 seconds. Okay, now show me. Okay, now don't show me. Simple as that. So I wanted to make that differentiation because when we look at adding sources, I don't want anybody to think that, oh, if I don't want my webcam shown, I have to delete it out of the source library. You do not. And again, we'll show you that when we hop into the XSplit window. But just keep that in mind. That is where you're going to be adding in pretty much everything into your stream. And then the top bar here is going to set where you want your stream to show up. So We talked a little bit earlier about the different outputs that you can actually utilize streaming for. So there's pretty much an endless amount, whether you're streaming on Mixer, Facebook Live, etc. You're going to dictate to XSplit, yes, I want all of this crazy coolness that I've got going on with my webcam and my mic and all my cool content. I want that going to Facebook Live because that's where my audience is. That's where they know where to go to find me. That's where they have the link. So that's where you're going to indicate where you want this going to. As we move forward, we're going to be looking at a couple different options that you can utilize when it comes to different ways to customize your stream. Now, this kind of goes back to the entertainment aspect, right? We were talking about Dr. Disrespect and how his whole stream is branded with his brand and his logos and his coloration and his music. It's an atmosphere that he has created so that when you join Dr. Disrespect's stream, you immediately feel you're part of this person's brand. You're in this atmosphere. So we like to take that same mentality and apply that to even internal events that we may have going on. Maybe you're talking about the new Microsoft 365 specs or information key messaging, and you want your stream to have kind of a Microsoft 365 or just a Microsoft branded theme. That is something to certainly think about when you're putting in overlays or widgets or what have you on your stream. There's endless possibilities of how you could make that setup. For those of you who just recently joined our US Master Trainers live stream, we did a Jackbox Party Pack stream. You saw me in front of the green screen, and then we had a whole background, and then our actual gameplay was in a separate window closed to the side. So there's a lot of different opportunities that you can leverage within XSplit. So we've got custom plugins and integrations, professional production features, webcam and background removal, chat and follower notifications. It supports all major capture cards, which we'll talk about, and then edit and upload recordings. So a lot of different features that you can take advantage of and ways to customize your stream for better entertainment. So again, coming right back around to the home base, live streaming 101. The key things to remember. So again, we talked about the hardware that you're going to need, right? The microphone, the webcam, and being able to see your chat. We talked about the software you're going to need, which is probably going to be XSplit or OBS. So, choose your poison there. And then the other thing that we talked about is the customization that you can add into these streams. So there's a lot of flair that can be added to just basically make your visuals seem that much more exciting. And generally that will keep viewers on your page or on your channel longer. So once you familiarized yourself with the software and hardware needed to conduct a live stream, let's clarify what to keep in mind when you are live. These are probably the biggest 5 things that I could say to keep in mind when you are streaming. Not only just from a keeping yourself safe standpoint, but making the biggest impact and having the best quality stream that you can have. So continuous content is the most important. What I mean by this, since we are going to be multitasking, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are. As streamers, we are going to be multitasking because we have to be operating and executing whatever it is we want to do on the screen, obviously providing the show for the audience, but we're also interacting with the audience. So this entire seminar that I've been doing, there would be a live chat this entire 30 minutes with real-time questions coming in. Josh, what about this? Josh, what about that? What did you mean when you said this? Can you go back to slide 6? That's all going to be going on while you're streaming. So you have to make sure that you have a setup where you can actually see the chat and whatever it is you're displaying. So I would highly recommend more than one monitor if it's possible. If not, even having like your Surface or something on the side with the chat pulled up from Mixer or Twitch or wherever it is you're streaming, and then obviously presenting on your main desktop, that would work as well. But that is the most important thing. A lot of times what you'll see with streamers that are just getting into, this environment is they will be playing a game or demonstrating something on screen, and then they will do this. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that, Cayenne. I'm not sure. Yeah, not the way we want to do it, right? Because during that moment, you feel completely ignored. And not only that, but whatever your show is going on screen has completely halted. So if you're you're going to see a live theater show, you don't expect the show to stop in the middle of a sentence and have the actors acknowledging, breaking that fourth wall and acknowledging audience members. It's a weird vibe. So that is the most important thing, is continuous content. If you're gaming, they would rather see you continue to game and not, reply to that one chat message if it's going to stunt, what's going on. The real gold part to get to is where you can do both simultaneously. So that leads us to number 2. Chat is a close second. So it really is about balancing what you're trying to do with that interactive aspect, because without that, you're a video, right? I mean, you're just recording pretty much whatever it is you're doing. No acknowledgement to the fact that you're live, interacting with live audiences. You just feel that the camera is the most important thing. The chat's this completely separate thing over there, and I'm going to do what I want to do. Well, that's great, but from the audience perspective, you just look like you're a video. You're pre-recorded. You're not interacting. You're not live. You're not actually calling out things in the chat. So that is where that aspect comes in. People want to feel heard, and they want to feel like they are a part of this two-way interactive communication. Number 3, low resolution streams that play smooth are more desirable. This is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. When people start to stream, they generally go into their outputs and they'll go, I want my stream to look the best, right? I want 4K, 1080p. I want 144 frames per second. I want people, when they come to my stream, they're going to see, the highest level Steven Spielberg-esque streaming. No, because not everybody has the bandwidth or the internet or devices, what have you, to actually view your stream at that quality. So going big is not necessarily the safest thing in streaming. Also, what's going to happen is, yes, your stream is going to look amazing, but I would say probably 75% of your audience is going to be watching something pause every 5 seconds, because it's going to have to buffer all that quality, all that resolution, and then it's going to try to give your audiences, 10 to 15 seconds more of your live stuff, and then it's going to pause again. That's not a good user experience. We would way rather them see a 720p stream or a 1080p stream as opposed to 4K, and it never has to load or buffer. It's just smooth the whole time. That is a much smoother and better experience for our audience, though at first you wouldn't think that because it is, lower quality. So keep that in mind as well. Going big with quality does not necessarily mean that your stream is going to be better. A lot of times it can actually mean the opposite. Test your audio and video functionality with local recordings before going live. Again, we won't talk too much about this because we're about to hop into a demo where I'm actually going to show you how to utilize XSplit. But this one is important when it comes to, again, that showmanship, that quality, that professionalism that we're trying to portray. If you, again, let's use our live theater analogy. You go to a live theater show and curtains come down, show's about to start, lights dim down. We're all ready to roll, ladies and gentlemen. We purchased our tickets. I've got my popcorn, grandma's sitting right here. We're all ready to go. And then all the actors start coming out and start checking their mics with the audio deck while they're on stage in front of you, completely disregarding the fact that you are there for a show and going, check, check mic. I got check mic. Oh, mine's this way. Mine's that way. No. In live theater, we do that weeks ahead of time, if not months. Figure out what we're going to be using, why, where it's going to be, at what point in the show. Does it work? Okay, it doesn't work there. Let's move that here. That should all be done prior to going live. Nobody wants to see you troubleshooting your stream live. The one thing I will say is asking for feedback at the beginning is definitely okay, and that's definitely encouraged. Hey, everybody, welcome to my stream. How's the mic sounding? Is the video on? Can you see me okay? Awesome. Let's get going. Super quick. The chat will let you know. They'll say, yes, we can hear you, and it'll be all good. Just don't put so much emphasis on trying to do that live. I would definitely figure everything out before, and then once you go live, everything is going to be buttery smooth. And always remember you are on camera. Not going to list anything specific because, it could be a whole world of variety of things that you could be doing that you maybe don't want to be doing while on camera. But for me, my cat likes to jump up on my desk a lot, and just for my weak heart, I generally cuddle with her when she gets up here. Probably not the best thing to do if I'm on a live stream with execs, partners, retail pros. You see what I'm saying? So it's something important to remember that when you are live, remember that everything you do, say, the way you look, the gestures you make. Maybe you read somebody's, you read somebody's chat comment out aloud and call them out in the chat, and then you maybe not you maybe don't agree with what they're saying. So then your face, gives this really grotesque disagreement. You have to remember that all that stuff is live. People can see you. So whether it's what you're saying, what you're showing, what you're doing, just remember you are always live. Now, we are going to hop over to our XSplit demo super quick as we wrap up here. And we are going to be showcasing basically just how to add your those three things that we listed before: your webcam, your mic, and the audio audience chat. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to actually switch over in my XSplit. I'm going to switch over to scene 3. So now we are in scene 3. And if you guys can hear me, that's awesome. And I'm going to take 2 seconds here and actually, like we talked about, make sure that everything's coming through just fine. So I'm going to actually click this cogwheel, and I'm going to take a look at our mic. So our mic right now is set to microphone Yeti stereo mic. The delay is 700 ms, meaning, when I talk right now, then it's going to go on the stream. Like, there's a little bit of a delay from what I'm saying to what the audience sees. And generally that helps with matching up your audio and your visual, because you may be talking a certain speed, which I believe I am right now. I'm talking a certain speed, but you're seeing me actually move a little bit after that comes out. So here's how we actually fix that. Because the microphone that we looked at is set to 700 delay, all we have to do is make sure that our webcam, which is right here, our Logitech Brio, is set to 700. Now let's see, it is. So we actually, I think, are on perfect alignment with our video and our audio. So when we look at XSplit, again, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and we want to make sure that we're not diving in too deep into anything crazy. Again, this is a 100-level course. So let's add in a webcam. Simplest thing, the first thing that you should definitely be looking to do, and this is how you do it. You open up XSplit, here's your window, basic. Come right down here to add source. Now, like I said, you can add a lot of different stuff into XSplit. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot. Screen capture, game capture, devices, meaning webcams, capture cards, etc. Text, web pages, media files, which is videos or images, scenes, different streams that you can embed, widgets, so many different things. But we're just going to focus on our webcam again, just wanting to show everybody what's available. Devices, we're going to go right over to video. And it's going to basically give me the option of everything that's plugged into my PC right now that XSplit is basically saying, all right, I could use any of these. Which one do you want? That's what they're asking me right here. I want them to use the Logitech Brio. So that's the one I'm going to click and add that, because obviously that is my webcam, and I know that. So we've added that in here. So now it goes into our little scene box. It is an added source into our stream. And then I've got the desktop here. So obviously I wanted to show you all how to use XSplit, so I wanted to share my stream. By doing that, I actually went to screen capture and then window capture. So the important difference between window and monitor capture is basically what's going on right now on the screen, where I'm sharing not just XSplit, but you can see my whole PC desktop, right? You can see the bottom bar, you can see my start button, you can see the date and the volume, all the good icons down there. That is while I'm showcasing my entire monitor. If I just wanted to do the XSplit program, I would basically go to window capture and select it from one of these. It's also how I'm broadcasting the PowerPoint right now, because that is our, or was broadcasting the PowerPoint. That was also a source right here. PowerPoint slideshow, live stream, seminar deck. So that is how you add like the visual aspects of what's going on the screen. You can also add a microphone this way, though I personally would say keep the microphones out of the source bay, because you don't really need to add them down here. That is what this is for right here. The microphone icon, which actually is paired with all of your settings going across XSplit. So if I click this toggle wheel, it's actually going to help me look at what do I have set up for a microphone. Audio preview, you can set to none. You don't need that. System sound, it should go to your default speakers. I will say if you are talking into your mic and you hear an echo coming out, that is usually indication that because the audio is being broadcast through your default speakers, your mic is then picking up that audio. So there are times where I'll just mute the actual PC audio while I'm live. That way, the audience is hearing everything fine, but I'm not, getting that echo coming back into my Yeti mic. So that is why I generally just put this on default and then I just mute my computer. Microphone, obviously the most important thing we want to look at. Microphone, we're going to do our Yeti stereo microphone. Don't get tricked into just clicking default because a lot of times it's not going to be the device that you hoped for. Actually pick the specific one that you've inputted into your PC. And if you don't see the one that you want here, try unplugging and replugging in that device, making sure you have your updated drivers and supported software for that specific device. For instance, my webcam here actually needed some software downloaded from the Logitech website in order for it to be compatible with my PC. So just keep in mind there may be some things that you're missing. It's probably not your device being broken or anything like that. Just do a little bit of troubleshooting, standard, plug it up, take it out, plug it back in, and hopefully that'll resolve the issue for you. So once we've set all this up, you can put noise suppression and silence detection on. Really, it's just going to try to help give some more quality to your audio, and that is really all you need to worry about in this entire area here, other than the delay, which we talked about. And again, you can set the delay for your microphone to 0 and the webcam to 0 if you want to do that. Personally, I don't mind having it on a little bit of a delay. God forbid something terrible happens and I have 5 to 10 seconds to sign off or something before it gets shown. It's just a little bit safer to have that delay on there. So now we've gone through our 2 out of 3 big golden source addeds. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. We've added a webcam and we've added a microphone. We are 66% of the way there. So not 70, but we're almost there. Let's cross that hill and get over to our audience chat. So what I'm going to do is actually hop over to Mixer. So this is actually not my, but our team's Mixer channel. I'm not going to actually showcase any video or anything here yet, but this is all I wanted to show you. Once you go into your Mixer channel or wherever it is that you're trying to stream, these little 3 dots down here are going to basically allow you to use the pop-out chat. So now I've popped out the chat for this specific channel. Close all that. And this is what it's going to look like. So this is where we talked about the audience wants to be seen. So while I'm streaming, I want to make sure that I have this pop-out chat, up somewhere on my screen where I can be reading what's going on in real time. The reason I don't just simply put my stream up and read the chat on the left or on the right is I don't want a separate video being played while I'm trying to stream. In general, the less you have going on outside of your stream, the better XSplit is going to run, the fewer amount of dropped frames you're going to experience, and generally the better quality you're going to get versus trying to stream while you've got 10 tabs open with YouTube videos going live all at the same time, right? Like that's just going to cause so much CPU utilization. So this is how we generally fix that problem is we just do the simple pop-out chat window. You're not looking at any visuals other than just the chat going on. And that way, when I'm talking, I can look at this and go, hey, Split End says, thanks for your awesome stream. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Twiggy Big Shot says, this should be fun. Thanks for hanging out. I love the kind words. And of course, Sevastin there at the end. Thank you for following. We appreciate that support. You can actually interact with the chat while you're doing what you need to be doing. And working towards that multitasking is going to be that prime skill that you're going to want to use when streaming. So that is how you set up your chat, your webcam, and your audio. Now, the last aspect of this is we've set everything up, but how do we know that it works? We talked about local recordings. So this is actually a local recording that we're doing right now because we're doing a seminar, right? So this is where you're going to actually be able to test out whether everything looks and sounds good. By doing a local recording, it's basically saying, okay, Josh, we're going to record everything that you're doing as if it was a live stream. The only difference is we're not going to be broadcasting it live while you're streaming. All we're going to do is record what happens and throw it in an MP4 file in your documents when you're done. That way I can then go rewatch it if I only did like 10 to 15 seconds just to check my mic, etc. I can say check mic, hey, my name is Josh, whatever it is. Then I can go rewatch that quick clip and then make sure that the audio sounds good, the video looks good, all that stuff is taken care of. Then you can go over to broadcast. And, obviously for most of you, if you're just opening XSplit, you will do set up a new input. And it's a pretty easy, step-by-step process to set one up. They'll guide you with questions. Do you want to, do this format? Do you want to do Mixer? Okay, if you want to do Mixer, then we're going to need this. They'll guide you through how to set it up. So don't be too intimidated by setting that up yourself. But obviously we're here if you have any questions. I have 3 broadcast outputs right now. So I've got our team, our US Master Trainer Mixer channel, which we just looked at. I've got my personal Mixer channel right here, Reality OGX, and then our Facebook Live. So this is the one that goes to our Retail Pros Training Facebook page. So if we want to do something cool to showcase just to Facebook and keep them off Mixer, we can do that as well. So the only difference between broadcasting your content and recording it is simply hitting whichever one you want. So local recording, you just click local recording right here. It'll start your recording and then you stop whenever you're ready. Broadcasting, same thing. If I wanted to broadcast to US Master Trainers, I simply click right here and the entire XSplit will do everything else and basically change where it's broadcasting this content to that desired output. So it's simply click and drag. And that's the reason why I really like XSplit is most of the stuff in XSplit is click and drag. So there's me kind of moving around, moving the audio and the visuals around. It's really, really user-friendly, and OBS tends to be a little bit more, I think, apt for the experienced streamer. Again, just my take. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. And again, if you have any questions about how to stream, what things do I need to remember? What are the key things to remember when streaming? Audio, hardware, software, anything under the sun, feel free to let us know and contact us either through our Facebook page or however you connect with your training team. Beyond this, again, I hope that the content was valuable for those who are just getting into live streaming. Quick apologies to those who may be a little bit more well-versed, and this was kind of, that redundant intro information, but hopefully it was a refresher for you as well. And keep in mind, we are going to be doing some 200 and 300 level live streaming seminars like this, going into more of the overlays, the branding, the flare, bit rate, how to decide which quality you want, all that kind of nitty gritty stuff. We'll do that moving forward. So rest assured, we will go through that. We just obviously wanted this to be a very easy hop in for those very curious about live streaming, especially in the world today. And I hope that you all, have some success getting this set up. Play around in XSplit, see what kind of stuff you can add in there, and feel free to share your overlays or your themes that you've put together. Share them with me. I'd love to see what you guys put together. And thank you for taking the time with me. Again, sorry it did not feel like 5 minutes, but so much information to go through. Such an important aspect of training right now, and we see so many different teams leveraging live streams now. So whether it's Teams, whether it's Mixer or Twitch, we've got your back. Let us know if you have any questions. I hope this was valuable. Thank you all for your time, and take it easy.